significantly increased. More recently, there has been a shift towards investigating factors linked to job satisfaction, resilience, and well-being in the academic literature. We now recognize how the work can be stressful as well as satisfying. Still, I notice a chasm. It exists between what we know about mental health, well-being, and resilience in the academic literature and what those who work in the veterinary profession know, live, and breathe. And this is where Sonja Olson's book truly comes to life. Sonja Olson, an experienced emergency clinician, veterinary mentor, and health and well-being trainer of veterinary teams, shares her wisdom and breadth of experience and knowledge on the topic of well-being and resilience in this book. She also brings to life the voices of her colleagues around the globe. By doing so, she normalizes conversations around vulnerability and mental health. Sonja talks the talk and walks the walk without ego, and will show how you too can have a long and fulfilling professional life, as well as a personal life. This book brings to the listener knowledge and experience that is useful to those studying and practicing the veterinary profession, making it a valuable addition to the libraries of veterinarians, veterinary technicians, nurses, and paraprofessionals. Its value lies in Olson's acknowledgement of the not uncommon imbalance in the journey of becoming a veterinary professional, with its emphasis on clinical skills, striving, precision, and doing in favor of self-care. In the pursuit of this career, and even when we do attain it, we may focus on the next skill, hurry to the next client or the next patient, not stopping to take a breath. We can very quickly lose sight of our 7-year-old self and forget why we are doing what we are doing in the first place. And we forget to be still, a sure recipe for burnout. So as you listen to this book, take it with an open and curious attitude. Listen to the voices of those in your profession. Do not give up, and know that you are not alone. Introduction. In the veterinary caregiving profession, we have got some quote-unquote issues we need to discuss. We have a long-standing culture of perfectionism, of judging ourselves and others, and as a result, a whole lot of shame and unhealthy attitudes. The stigma that we quote-unquote should be smart enough, tough enough, selfless enough to be great veterinarians and technicians right out of the gate from our academic training is ubiquitous. We expect it of ourselves because it was indoctrinated before and during our clinical training. It is then reinforced in the clinical environments that we graduate into as we start to practice. This is the quote-unquote novice professional experience that is well known and written about in human caregiving literature. However, in veterinary medicine, we are just starting to acknowledge and apply the concepts from the human medical research and literature on the quote-unquote occupational hazards of being in a caregiving profession. Such terms as compassion fatigue, vicarious trauma, and moral stressors are a few examples that we are just in the last few years becoming familiar with and applying to what we have been feeling and experiencing in this profession for many decades. In my 25 years as an emergency clinician, veterinary mentor, and supporter of our veterinary teams on well-being, I've experienced the many highs and lows that our profession delivers. The incredible feeling of helping a suffering animal recover and of working like a well-oiled machine with my ER team as we provided high-quality patient care are the highs. Teaching and being taught daily in clinical practice were deeply fulfilling. Yet, like many others, I suffered from the empathic distress, secondary trauma, and burnout that can come from being a deeply empathic caregiver. I personally experienced the fear and feelings of entrapment and the identity crisis of not knowing what to do if I was not, quote-unquote, Dr. Olson, the emergency clinician, in a clinical environment. Through deep work in self-reflection, honesty, and clarifying my values and intentions, I have found my way to a healthier space where I am contributing to our veterinary profession and community in a way that I would not have imagined 10 years ago. I am honored to now be in a novel role that provides well-being support to the amazing veterinary professionals who continue to selflessly give in the veterinary practice environment. Do I miss being on the clinical floor and working with veterinary patients and fellow veterinary colleagues? You bet. Do I feel like I'm intellectually less engaged or excited about my professional development? Absolutely not. I have given myself permission.